With the government slogan, "Leaving no one behind," people living with disabilities are requesting for an interpretation of the slogan. The Zambia Agency for Persons with Disabilities, ZAPD, is appealing to the different stakeholders and partners to collaborate and include people who are differently abled in the fight against the looming coronavirus pandemic. ZAPD feels people living with disabilities have been left behind. This is in line with the access to full and correct information. ZAPD Rehabilitation and Research Director George Mumbi explains that disability comes in different forms, and therefore it requires different sort of attention, in that the blind and the deaf people will need to access information of the coronavirus differently, such as in the audio or picture format, which apparently is not accessible to most disabled people. Mr. Mumbi is therefore appealing to other stakeholders and government at large to ensure that this kind of information about the virus is made readily available, as these people are also at high risk of contracting the disease. He was speaking to Movie TV News Crew in an interview on the 9th of April 2020 in Lusaka.
Regarding the coronavirus disease, is that of course we have got persons with abilities in different categories. We have got the deaf, we have got the blind, we have got the persons living with albinism, persons with intellectual disabilities. All these need to have access to the information. But at the moment, not much is being done because there are certain disabilities that need to access information in accessible format. For example, like persons with the deaf, persons' abilities in terms of hearing impairment or the deaf. We haven't seen any message that has been put in accessible form in terms of like the print, in terms of sign language. Of course, ZNBC is trying by all means that, but other private media, most of the private institutions are not providing that. Then for persons with intellectual disabilities, their problem is that they absorb information at a very slow, done at a slow pace. So we need to have simplified language, or if possible to put in the local language that they're able to access that information.
Meanwhile, government through the Ministry of Community Development and under the Parliamentary Article No. 6 of 2012 has set aside funds meant to address the accessibility and availability of information on the coronavirus pandemic to persons living with disabilities. This is to help them make informed and productive decisions that can ensure preserving and saving lives. Reporting for Movie TV News in Lusaka, Namangolwa Mundia.